Good evening, folks, and welcome once again to our monthly meeting of our Tricentennial Committee. And of course, the date, the 27th of February. And I think I've said many times before that time moves fast. Here we are in February. I remember us saying this last February. But time is moving quick. We had a lot to cover tonight. And I wanted to call the meeting to order. And I'd like to start off with introductions. I think you know me. I'm Dave Clifton, the chair. And we're going to go around the table, mention not only your name for the TV audience, but also mention the responsibility that you have thus far, because we keep adding stuff to your responsibility. We'll start with you, Diane.
Diane Lusardi, and I am the secretary.
Rosalind Miller, and I am the assistant secretary.
Ken Michael, I'm in charge of business communications and totally irresponsible.
Best dressed.
Michael Good, marketing and communications.
Dan Anderson, I'm one of the co-chairs of the block party.
Paul Clifford, I work at Borderland State Park, so I'm the liaison.
Stan Retailer, I'm doing the kickoff day as well as co-chair of merchandise and the gala.
I'm Amanda Hurley, and I am all the same committees as Anne Marie.
I'm Chris Ventrusco, head of photography and the yearbook.
I'm Jeanette Kamara, and I'm the treasurer.
Hi, Joan Lundgren, and I am working on bands for the concert and the art show weekend.
The Hetzels?
I'm Tom Hetzel, and my wife Karen, who had to step out for a minute. We're both working on the Langwater Farms Day for Kids, an event in 2025.
And,
Piper.
yes.
Yes.
Piper Journalist, I designed the logo and some of the graphic design work.
And thank you, Piper, for not only putting together the logo, but you also have submitted a couple of ideas for the pole banners, and we appreciate your time and your talent. I'd like to thank SCTV for covering our meeting here on the fourth Tuesday of the month, and I'd also like to express my appreciation to Queeset House for hosting our meeting. At this time, I'd like to talk very briefly about the upcoming schedule for the month of March. On March 5th, that's the first Tuesday of the month, we do our TV show called Eastern 300. And I very much appreciate Brian Hoffman, who has jumped in to co-host the show with me. I'd also like to remind everybody that our brainstorming session will be scheduled for March 12th. That's going to be at the ECAT studio, and they have a conference room outside the studio that we're going to utilize. We also, on March 13th, I'm setting up a coordinators meeting so we can sit down and talk about each event. The coordinator of all the events. We're hoping to have that meeting, not hoping, but it's already scheduled, March 13th at 6 o'clock, and it'll be in the boardroom of the superintendent at Southeast Regional. A beautiful facility, and it's a chance for us to go into a lot of details about each event. And Chris, I invite you to come too if you want to spend some time talking about the anniversary book. Yep. So that's all the coordinators of different events. And certainly there are some things tonight that I'd like to be able to approve and to have some motions. This is Dale. Dale, why don't you introduce yourself, and you're from Borderland State Park.
Hi, Dale Thistle, here with my teammates representing the Friends of Borderland, and we're here to help.
That's a good motto. One of the things I'd like to do, first of all, is to quickly go through some appointments or some people that are going to join the team and have different responsibilities. And I wanted to make it official and get it in the minutes of the meeting. First of all, co-chairs of the Art Festival. Both Joan and Diane have agreed to handle that responsibility. And they're going to get into dates and times, so forth, a little later in the picture. Right now, they're talking about the 26th.
April.
But we still got time to talk about that's in April. I'd also like to do the motion for all of the appointments all at the same time. I've had Ken Wood here in Easton, a long-time Eastonite, who has agreed to chair the volunteer committee. Each event that we have is going to need volunteers. I think right now we have plenty of volunteers interested in the gala, but there are other events like the parade and so forth, the Art Festival. Even if Ken only gets us 10 for each event, it'll make us golden. I hope, and I guess my feeling has been that our committee is a bunch of volunteers right off the bat. I'm assuming that most of us will be at all the events. And even if it's the parade, helping to line up the parade, and then jumping in your convertibles, because you'll be the last vehicle coming down the parade route as a committee. It's a chance to say thank you to everyone.
Do we get a convertible?
Oh,
Yes, we'll get convertibles.
Good job. Okay, can I have a Mustang convertible?
I'll take one to be in your car.
That's going to be one of the easiest things
Okay, good.
that I can do. I'd also like to mention, if I look at my agenda here, billboard coordinator. It made sense for our marketing guy, Mike Good, to handle that responsibility. I just wanted to make it official tonight. Gifts to the town. This would be something that would happen at the end of the celebration on 2025. I thought that Ken, as well as Dale, who cannot be here tonight because of a previous meeting in town, but these two gentlemen have agreed to not only take a look at what would be a good gift to give to the town of Easton at the end of the celebration, and also find a place where this gift can go. If it happens to be a piece of sculpture or something that will remember this 300th anniversary, which is not just, it's something that we want to remember. 300 years is a lot of time. There's been a lot of history. And I know that Chris is going to be talking about it. He's going to be taking lots of photographs. One of the toughest photographs that we're trying to pick up is a picture of the team. I don't seem to be able to get everybody here at the same time, but I'm working on that. And Chris, we're hoping that'll be one of the first photos that you can take. I wanted to get a separate photos of the coordinators, so that's something that we'll bring up at a later date. I also wanted to, I think we got everybody here. So I'd like to ask for a motion to appoint Mike Good as the billboard coordinator, co-chairs of the Gift to the Town, Dale Carister and Ken Michael, merchandising co-chairs, Amanda Hurley and Anne Marie Taylor. They've agreed to do that. And the co-chairs of the Art Festival, Art and Cultural Festival, Diane Lusardi and Joan Lundgren. So,
And Ken Wood, you're going to put Ken.
and Ken Wood is the coordinator of volunteers. Thank you, Diane. Would someone like to make a motion? I know Dale is not here this evening to make motions, but he sends his love.
There we go.
A motion.
Just call me Love.
So, thank you. Can we have a
I'll
motion? Do we have a
second.
second? Roz has a second, and of course, we do have a quorum tonight. And any discussion on any of the appointments to add to our list? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It's unanimous by the voting members. And congratulations, and thank you for stepping up to do some extra responsibilities. The next bracket would be, on the agenda, would be the chair's report. I don't have anything under the vice chair because I knew he wasn't going to be here, but I'd like to start off by asking the committee, first of all, to vote on the minutes of our meeting. Our last meeting that needs to be voted on is January 23rd. Is that the right one?
Yeah.
January 23rd. You've had a chance to see the minutes because they have been mailed. I do have one correction. I want to make sure that, and it was just a slip. Joan was not on those attending, and she was at the meeting because she made several remarks during the meeting.
Yes, she did.
So,
I did correct it. Roz had told me that I
That's
missed
fine.
and
it.
I also wanted to mention that it was Ken Michael who handled the responsibility of our donation for the fireworks. It wasn't me that handled that, and I wanted him to get the credit for it. And he really doesn't care, he said, about the credit. But I'm adding those two. Ken, did you see anything else in the minutes? Anybody else have
I
any?
didn't see that one.
Yeah, I didn't.
Anybody else see the corrections? Because you got these mailed, I'm going
Did
to
you
ask.
receive them by email?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
And you did not? And you didn't? Did you?
Okay.
That was a slip.
Well, she has a copy
Yeah,
tonight.
I have a copy.
All
Did you
those
see it?
in
Okay.
favor
Aye.
of approving
Thank
the
you,
minutes
Joan.
of the January 23rd meeting, which took place right here at the same site, raise your hand. Those opposed? It's unanimous for the voting members that are here this evening. The motion is carried and we have approved the minutes. The next item on the agenda is to approve the annual report. This is something else that I sent by email. I was notified by Town Hall that the annual report was due last week. So I put something up quickly. It's going to be a larger annual report when we report on the year 2024 because everything will be already organized. But I did put in what our charge was, and I mentioned some things that I thought might be important for the general public to be able to see. But most important of all, I wanted to be in the annual report. I wanted to make sure that people know that there is a committee working hard to provide this celebration. Is there anyone that's voting that did not get a copy of the annual report?
I got that.
Those people who have other responsibilities, I have a copy of that report to give you this evening. I made extra copies. So let's call for a motion. Would someone like to make a motion to accept? Mike Good,
I make a motion.
marketing and communication person, makes a motion. The second?
I'll second.
Second.
Joan.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. That's your left, Mike. No, I'm only kidding. The motion is carried. And of course, our annual report will now officially be endorsed. I will call Elizabeth. She has a copy of it, so she knows we're turning it in. And I told her it was subject to change, but we're okay now. So the motion is carried. What I'd like to do tonight under my report is to vote before people get involved in the discussion. I wanted to approve the fireworks company to shoot off the fireworks on June 14th. Now, we've had 2, and we've been in touch with 3 or 4 fireworks companies. And Ken joined us when we met American Thunder. And they seem to come out with the safest presentation. They visited the site. They do a lot of big-time fireworks displays. And of course, they can handle the price that we're talking about. The fire chief felt very strongly that he didn't want to do anything on the water. And that was the feeling of one of the fireworks companies. They wanted to build a raft to put the fireworks on. It would cost us as much as the fireworks. So I think we're happy, and I'm happy that the fire chief is not only co-chairing, but I feel comfortable safety-wise with him making a recommendation. So I ask you if you can make a motion and a second. And first of all, is there any discussion on how you feel about the fireworks? It's going to be at the Governor Ames estate, and the area is going to be marked off by DPW and the fire department, and people can only go in certain areas. And there's a plan to have some spotlights down there if it gets dark, so people aren't walking around in the dark. So, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by our secretary,
I second.
and we have a second,
Second.
and we also have a third.
You have a third?
Thank you, Joan.
There you go.
All those in favor
I have a question.
of, yes,
Has Chief Justin Alexander recommended this? This is
Yes.
his recommendation?
Yes.
And he approves it?
and I agree with him, is the co-chair of the fireworks. He also brought his deputies. They all came down and looked at the site, and everybody felt comfortable. So, again, we had a motion, we had a second. All those in favor of American Thunder from North Reading, Massachusetts, shooting off the fireworks here on June 14th here in Easton. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous for those members that are here. And that's finalized. The next item that I'd like to mention is approving the company to do the pole banners. And I know that this has nothing to do with what the banner's going to look like. But we have a longtime Easton resident, Ed Bass, who runs a company in Stoughton. And he gave us the best price. He came in at 9,000 something to do not only the banners, vinyl banners, two-sided, but he also agreed to make that part of the price for the hardware and the poles to put the banners on. DPW has agreed. I had a couple of meetings with Dave Fields. He's on board. We've walked the site, and we have 91 poles on Center Street. Our plan is to use every other pole for a banner. We have a total of 42 poles on Main Street. Our plan is to do it on every other pole. Our plan is to do 80 banners. Believe it or not, I have 25 committed already. I have enough banners right now to pay the entire bill for 80 banners. We're going to make a profit. It's probably going to be about $10,000 that'll go into our account that can be used for other things that are needed. Whoever thought that the banners were going to make a profit, but we come in at a good price. Go ahead, Ken.
You said Center and Main Street. What about Five Corners?
They're all going to be on the right-hand side.
No, but you said there were 91 for Center Street.
Yeah.
42 for Main Street.
I forgot the rest are going to be at Five Corners.
But how many more? Do you know?
And that's 10 to 15.
Okay.
All right, so that's just.
They're all going to be on the wooden poles. I think I told you once before that we have the okay to do that. And DPW, I thought they might flinch a little bit, you know, to put up 80 to 90 poles. And they said, we're happy to do it, that's our participation. Yes, Joan?
Did you extend the location to Hilliard's?
There's going to be a few that are going to be over by Memorial Hall. We want to decorate
But
that
the
whole
other
area.
end, Yeah,
The other
by
side.
Hilliard's.
The other end.
The other end.
At Hilliard's.
138.
We talked about it at the last
Route
meeting.
138.
Yeah, that they would go
It's going all the way to the chocolate.
to Hilliard's.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
It's going to go all the way down, but it made sense to do every other pole.
And that's fine, but just
Yeah.
as long as it goes down to that.
And it's going to be well decorated with all the town lights and stuff. It's going to
Yeah.
be absolutely terrific.
I just added two more names to it.
Now, let's vote on this motion first.
I have another question.
We did have a couple of other bidders I did want to mention, and then I'll go to you first, Diane, and
Thank
then
you.
to Mike. We had a bid not only from Ed, but Signs Tomorrow, also bid in Easton. They come up with $14,000 to do everything. Southeast Regional has some concern about being able to react to us in our timetable. We hope to put these banners up in October of 2024, and they're going to come down in December, weather permitting, in 2025. We're going to give those banners to the people that buy into them. Right now, nobody has said no to me in terms of 25 banners. Nobody has said no to me in terms of making a donation to the celebration. I think the people in town are excited about this celebration. They want to participate in some way. And my concern is trying to move a little faster than we have been able to, and to get some of the stuff out of the way so we can concentrate on fundraising, concentrate on volunteers, and concentrate on what are the ingredients going to be for all the coordinators that are working hard putting their events together. They're going to be coming in at some point in time to present a budget. So right now I'm going to call for a motion to give the bid to Ed Bass. Ed not only wants to do the banners, he wants to come and visit them, he wants to see how they go up, and he might even throw in a couple of banners for us that we can use at some point in time. But he's a local guy who is very much into the town of Easton. So I'm looking for a motion to give the bid to Ed Bass, and
I'll make that
his
motion.
price that he indicated, under $10,000, so
I'll
that's
make that
terrific.
motion.
We have a motion by Ken,
Second.
we have a second by Roz. Any more discussion? All those folk,
I have a question.
discussion, Mike, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, this is two things. One, what is the cutoff for, so these are things, why don't we vote, and these are questions that don't.
Well, no, I have a question too. You can ask a
It's
question.
it's a good question, and there's really no cutoff right now because some people might come in a little late on these.
So you're going, with these going up on poles 1024, which is perfect, that was my first question. So the second question is, I assume Ed will give us a cutoff in terms of, one, is there a rolling tally of the number of sold and who's bought and who's not, cross asking people if we're doing
There's
that?
a list here. You can.
Courtney's keeping a spreadsheet.
Okay, all right, great. And then
I have a copy of
Just
the
pass it.
25 that I have so far. Keep in mind that those are commitments. They haven't handed over the check yet. A couple are going to do that this week, but it's $300. That's what we decided to charge. And it's costing us a little under $100. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry, as a matter of fact, it's $96 per banner. That includes all the hardware. that's how we make the profit. We use that scheme of 300 because that's our anniversary, and nobody flinched at all. And you know why? It's 14 months of advertising with their name on a banner. I asked someone, do you want to have the banner near your location? And they said, well, I'd rather have it go someplace else. I already have publicity on my store. But there's different people that react different ways. I know Ken knows of someone that would like to have it, like McGuire's. They want to have it out in front of their restaurant. So we'll try to do what we can to accommodate them. Most important of all, we need to get all these details in advance. You don't want DPW putting them up, taking them down, and putting them at different locations. Their challenge is to put them all up and then take them all down. So, any other question? You had a question, Diane?
I do. I thought you said Ed Bass total was $9,000. Did I hear nine?
did.
What did that
I
mean?
made a
What did-
mistake. I
You
made a
did say
mistake.
9.
I made at a point to say to you that it's $96
Oh,
to put the banner
so
up.
that-
It's even less than 100
Okay,
versus the closest one, 140.
140, not 100.
Southeast Regional Vocational Technical High School is willing to do it, but they have some issues with school vacation, off for the summer, all that kind of stuff. We're going to end up going back, to answer your question, Mike Good, we're going to go back with another 20 or 30 that people find out that there's empty spaces.
So that was my question.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have, eventually we'll have to have a cutoff. There's a rolling list of who's involved, so that's great. So if we have local businesses that we're friendly with the owners and all that, we
Yeah.
wanna ask, we're not asking twice. If there is such a groundswell of support, can we expand past Center Street, Main Street? And then I guess, I don't know where the 25 at 5 corners are going. I assume that's right at 106? Is
Yeah,
that where
it's,
you're going?
it's not going to be a, it's not going to
10
be
to
a problem
15.
if we had to add more.
Washington Street.
In another
Stone-
town, I had 96 banners that went up. And then we stopped at a certain point. And they all didn't go up the same weekend. You know, one weekend, half of them went up, the other weekend, another half went up. So I think it's going to be a good deal. So we voted on the motion. Or we didn't vote on it.
No, we-
Yeah, we discussed it.
No,
We have a motion by Ken,
Mm-hmm.
a second by Roz. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Doesn't count if it's
Ed Bass gets the bid. I'll let him know. He made it very clear to me, he made 4 suggestions on a banner. But we also got 4 other suggestions from the person that did our logo, Piper. And I appreciate the entries. We got 3 others from Signs Tomorrow. And Ed Bass made it clear that if we come up with a better banner and the committee agrees on it, he'll still print it. It doesn't have to be his.
Well, that's-
So, like I say, this is another advantage of having a local guy very much involved in this. So,
So just a question about that.
yeah,
So we have 11 ideas for the banners, right? Sounds like we have 3. When do we, how are we gonna decide that?
well, I just got Pipers today. I don't know if you brought any
I
Piper.
printed them.
You
so-
printed them, terrific. Why don't you pass those around? And I have electronically, I was gonna send all the banners to everybody
They can be,
on the committee, whether you're voting or not. Everybody hear that?
Thank you.
I was gonna send all the banners electronically.
Okay.
If you felt you didn't want to vote on it tonight, but take a closer look. I thought the last one you sent to Piper was absolutely terrific. I mentioned to you, can you make a couple of others up, because I wanted to make sure the committee saw something in a lighter version instead of all black. How do you folks feel about that?
I thought the black was beautiful, but I don't know if it would
Just
show
scan it
up.
from here, I like the black, because it makes it pop.
It does, doesn't it? I thought so
If you
too.
think about it being up for about 14 months, if you
Yes.
go with a white background, it's going to age.
Yeah.
The black will just look
White is-
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, white's not a good idea.
Oh, you mean
So
the light one will
darker-
fade?
Yeah, well, no, or age, or just
Or
color
aged.
from the sun. Yeah.
The black won't fade.
Yes, you want to pass that around?
This
That would
is,
be up to, they'd have to tell us who's making it about fading, but the white,
this is similar to the one that Ed Bass did. It's not the same. It's a banner that he put together, but
I decided to take the kind of scrolly banners off the top and the bottom, because I figured up high it might be difficult to see and read, so I kind of made those adjustments. but I
instead of
can-
Town of Easton, you just put
Oh.
Easton.
Mhm.
Oh.
And also like the logo.
300
I
years in
stripped
there.
off the Tricentennial at the top
Oh, yeah.
and the like scrolly part at the bottom, and just put 300 years, just, so it
Well-
would be easier
See, I
to
like
read.
this, but I like that color.
You do like the color.
I wanted to
I like
This
suggest
color,
to
this
you,
color.
And all black.
Piper, this is just my viewpoint.
Yeah.
If someone else did the logo, I wouldn't want to disrupt their logo.
Oh, totally. I
That's,
feel like I had it.
That's her logo.
I could.
but that's why I'm saying
Yeah, I
this.
think if you guys could decide on that, like if you like the scroll, we could keep it, but it gave you an option to take it off if you wanted to, so it's totally up to you.
Feeling,
That's a
Ken?
valid point.
No, I was gonna make another point, which is, right now, we have 33 banners, pending anybody else adding anything to it. And 5 of those are free, because they're going to sponsors.
That's correct.
So you've got 28 banners already that are going to be funded.
Now, did you include Historical Society? I think I put that down on your list.
I've got, everybody that's on this list, and then I added ones without duplicating.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
added
say-
2 tonight.
And you added
Two.
Yeah.
a
2.
couple, right? Plus-
See how fast they're gonna go?
I
Dave,
actually
did you add
added
me
this
to
for
Fractal's,
Fractal's.
Actually, Lang.
Hmm?
I have one to
Sorry,
let,
I
yeah,
took it off my list and
Okay.
put it on yours.
Yeah,
So you
I've
can
got it adding.
Go ahead.
All right. Dale wants to take one too.
He's got 2,
Oh, and did you put the legacy down?
not yet.
No.
That you just reminded me.
Do the legacy, because I
I'll put
did
that
bill
on,
for the
yeah.
Grange. Yeah.
You did the grant.
So we got all
So we'll
three,
do that.
yeah.
Okay, well, we'll cover it.
And you got customized.
The only question that came up was
Oh,
we were
did you
doing
want
these
that?
banners
I'm gonna write one more in.
because there's gonna be families.
Mhm.
I mean, I bought one that says Clifton Family. But do we wanna take care of all the businesses first?
Yes.
Yeah.
To make sure that
Yes.
they're on board? There's gonna be more free ones too, Ken, coming up, because some people are in the process of making a donation.
They're on there. They're on there.
And I haven't heard from Courtney. I don't know if she's feeling okay.
No,
or-
she sent an email, she's not gonna make it, and
Yeah.
she's watching, so she's
Yeah.
watching right now.
Hi,
She had a
Courtney.
question.
Hey, Courtney.
She had one question about the letter for fundraising that is attached to the email.
34 with 5.
Say that again, Mike.
She attached a letter,
Oh,
my phone.
So
She
far,
said she
did he say there's how many?
doesn't come in.
There's 34 so far.
so I think I mentioned to the committee that Courtney's gonna keep track of everyone that's doing a banner. And everyone that's doing a banner has to fill out a sheet. That's important because that tells us exactly what the spelling is, to make sure we get the right information.
I have it.
Here it is.
You got it. This is the list.
Anybody else need one of these?
I might have a couple of them.
If my math is
Did you want to
right,
look at this?
based on 30 and 5 free,
Yeah,
that's $8,700.
almost
So you're
there.
300 short so far.
It's neat.
It's, can you imagine, we've already got it paid for.
Yeah.
But now the profit's gonna come in as we add banners. And, you know, $10,000 can do a lot for us. That's a good donation.
I want to include it with them.
Okay, so, are we ready for the vote? Oh, we already did the vote. We have
I'll
vote.
tell you,
We
we
voted for
voted
it.
already.
And I guess the question I want to ask, Do we want to vote for the banner tonight, or do you want to hold
No.
off on it?
No, when do we have to tell them?
Yeah.
I would just-
We got time to hold off on it.
Yeah,
There's
but
no-
let's table that.
Well, I would recommend, just what Chris Nolan was that we do kind of put a cap on how long we're gonna have ideas kind of. come
Right.
in, and just that way, not that you're having any trouble selling these, but then you'd be able to have a proof of concept of folks in the future to say this is what.
I was going to wait till we get to 80 and 90, which I think is going to happen
You want it,
probably before our next meeting,
all right, that's fine.
and then we can cut it off. I don't think DPW wants to put banners up all over the town.
Oh, they don't. You
You'll
want
have to hire another department to do that.
you want this
So,
back?
we heard what you said, Mike Good. We'll
I have
try to
one.
come up with a finalizing date to do that. And I'm going to send a copy of all the banners to everybody, so you'll have it electronically. And then at the next meeting, we'll vote on
Okay.
which one.
On March 26th.
26.
That's the next regular.
I think so.
The next item is the theme. Bringing families and community together is one that I've been using. And I think it was Paul Clifford, who's with us this evening. He came up with that original theme because he used it at Borderland. But I thought it was a good theme to be able to utilize, because that's what we're doing. We're bringing families and the community together. That doesn't mean that each event doesn't have their own theme. This is just the overall theme. How do you feel about that, and can we make a motion to accept it? Or do you have another idea?
Looking at your report,
Hmm?
talking about your report now?
Well, I have it in the report too, I guess, but
That's what I was asking. I'm
uh,
not seeing anything, I'm not seeing.
that doesn't mean down the road we can't change it or do
No, I'm just
something.
looking to see, okay, what we're looking at here, because on the agenda, we're going from the pole banners and down below, talk about the bonfire location. So I was a little confused, which is easy to do.
It's not on the
in my
agenda.
case.
This is true.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
whether we're talking about the town report or something else from the agenda.
Do you want to wait off on it, or do you want to just vote for it?
What does that, we can vote on, what does that, what do we do with that? So it's
Just put it on documents, posters and whatever. It's nice once in a while when you're sending out notes that you can include it gives a message to people in town that this is for families and it's for the whole community. So,
It's kind of like a mission.
yeah.
Would you
So-
state it again?
Hmm?
State it again. What is it?
Bringing families and community together.
Looks like the third bullet on the report, on the town report, on the committee report, the third bullet.
Would someone like to make a motion, or would you rather, motion by Mike Good,
make a motion.
I'll
for
second.
the theme, bringing families and community together.
a second by Joan, a smile by the other members?
Just a question,
Yes.
question. We've got three other bullets following that. So are we saying essentially that that bullet is gonna encompass all of these three things? All four of those things, excuse me?
Which bullet are you looking at?
Looking at your report,
Yeah,
I'm looking at the third
Oh, the
bullet down,
report.
which is to strengthen bonds of family and community with events that bring people together. So I'm paraphrasing that.
Oh, on the annual
But now you
report?
look down, you have three more bullets that talk about other involvement. So I guess my question really is, are we looking at this theme, if you will, to include all of those things?
that was my way of thinking.
Are you on the annual report? Is
I'm
that
looking
what
at
it
the
is?
report on the
Okay.
front page. and
Yeah,
there's a
I
series of
see.
bullets. If you start with the third bullet,
Mm-hmm.
essentially is what's been proposed. And then if you look at the next three bullets, actually four, but talks about various aspects of the community,
True.
various categories. So I was
See,
asking
I-
if the theme idea was gonna encompass all of these things.
Well, I took this more to be like our mission statement.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a character.
So,
I think I sent it to everybody.
I guess when I was looking at it, I was thinking that what the select board gave us was a charge. That's our mission. But I was trying to pick something out that could be our overall theme. Bringing families and community together involves all those other bullets, one way or another.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Are you anticipating or thinking that that's what would happen?
yeah,
i.e.
that was
all of
my
these are
thought,
included.
yeah.
So if we're strengthening the bonds of family and community, we're saying town. By community, I assume you mean town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate to point out the obvious, but it's on the sign right behind you, and it looks fabulous. It's just long enough that it fits perfectly with what it
Yeah.
is.
That's what I-
So,
that's what
yeah.
I
Oh,
was
who
saying.
made that
It's
one?
already there.
Who made
I
that?
was looking at that.
It's already here. That looks good.
What things to put on it.
Oh, you all put it,
Looks good.
you didn't need us, Dave.
Put it on there already.
Dave, where
But
do
I
we
gotta
have
tell
it?
you,
I already had it.
as I looked at it tonight,
Yeah.
I said, guess what? I didn't run the theme by the committee. So it was on the agenda,
To see.
and I think that's important.
CYA. You got
It should be my
It's a
decision.
little CYA going.
Although I'm in a
here.
hurry to push things along, it just seemed to,
It's always
Be
better to
appropriate.
apologize than ask for permission. It's
yeah.
okay.
Always.
So
You
let's
got
make
it.
a motion to accept my apology.
So moved. Okay.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor, bringing family and communities
Yeah.
together?
It's very nice,
It's unanimously carried,
Yes.
and a good discussion about it.
sure.
The next item is having visited a number of sites with the fire chief. We have been looking at sites for the bonfire. We listened to what the committee had to say at the last meeting, and we visited 4 sites, and even the fire chief prioritized which ones he liked the best. We visited the Governor Ames estate. We visited the militia park. We also visited the center school. And believe it or not, he came up with 2, and then we went back to the place that we originally recommended.
Beach Park.
Yes. And he came to the conclusion that going to Militia Park, and I know Courtney made a recommendation that we ought to consider that because the commissioners for the baseball site gave their approval. But when the fire chief went down there, he felt right off the bat that it was too small. He felt that it was too close to Friends Crossing. Somebody asked me that question, what happens if the wind blows? Well, if the wind blows, the fire chief said we won't have it, period. But the fact is that the sites seem to be too small. Parking seems to be an issue even for some sporting events, and that he didn't see that as his top priority. I said, what is your top priority? He said the Governor Ames estate is number 1, and number 2 is the center school.
That's a good one.
We haven't got permission from the Governor Ames estate. Been difficult getting a response back. But the third choice was the site that we originally recommended. What's the name of that place, Ken?
Keach Park
Beach Park.
Keach Park.
on Chestnut.
Fire chief liked the idea of going up there because there's nobody around except a farm. But some people feel that it's too far away from the busy part of town, and that he thought it might make sense. Not he did, but his first two choices, he took me to Center Street. We looked at the site, there was some parking there. There was a spot that he could block off for the bonfire. And I kind of leaned towards the fire chief's recommendation because of that safety issue and concern. I didn't want to go someplace where people are going to say, you can't go on the ball field, you can't do this, you can't do that, or there's no parking. So I think his two recommendations, and I'm waiting to hear back from the Governor Ames estate, the gentleman that makes that decision. I think his wife is on maternity leave and he's not around.
He's on maternity leave.
Yeah. So if you want to wait on this decision tonight, we can decide later. But I'm convinced that the center school is a good spot. And the question comes up, is that school coming down? Is there going to be, what the timetable, we have to deal with the town and the school department,
Will they own it?
school committee on that issue. But I guess I'm suggesting tonight, this is one that we probably should hold off on. We know what the fire chief's recommending, but we don't know if the people that have some say on the sites agree.
So, I have a question. So for the, is there an event in Ames Estate already?
Is there an event what?
There is.
Concert and fire.
Yeah, there
So-
is.
Okay, so, again, we need to get an answer from them, even if they let you have this there.
I need to get an answer from the trustees.
From them.
Vermont.
And then I assume we still have to have a conversation with the school, we can't just have a bonfire there.
Yeah.
So pending, say both groups say, by all means, we're on board, I would lean towards center school, only because every event we have so far is up the center of town.
Yeah.
And again, from someone who grew up in Southeast, and there's a, you know, that might just be me. We feel kind of off to the side, so it would be nice to have an event
Yeah.
down.
The fire chief was there and he looked at the site, he said, this is where the band concert can go,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
where the food trucks can go, the bonfire over here. He convinced me that that was a better spot than a couple of them that we've chosen. And
I just don't like having two events at this, I think it would be- if we can have it at center school, again, if they haven't sold the school or whatever's going on with that, that's.
Now,
that's okay.
does that come under the select board or the school committee still? I wonder.
Does what come under the-
I
You
think-
said-
Well, I thought that the center school was passed over.
Are you asking who has the authority to allow the center school to be used?
Right.
Yeah, I would say it's still under the select board,
I would too.
because they own it.
Yeah.
The town owns
The
it.
town.
Okay.
So I'm sure that if the select board thinks that the education department should, the school department should be involved, that they'll tell us.
Okay. So do you want to hold off on that motion?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do it tonight?
By the
No,
way,
Okay.
I
we have to
agree with-
wait.
I agree with Mike, that if that's approved, if the center school is approved, that is the better
It is.
location across the board.
I do too. I don't think that Governor Ames is a good location
I don't
at
think,
all.
well, I think it for a variety of reasons, and I'm
Yeah.
not, and as I've said before, I'm not a big fan of bonfires, but I
And I'm
do
with
think
you.
if we're gonna have one, that the center school, you know, given the amount of
Perfect.
asphalt, parking,
Mhm.
Yeah.
area, plus
And all the lawns.
all the land, so.
Yeah.
I met someone today that's not a good friend of fireworks.
No, you know what? It must have been George Plimpton's cousin.
Oh.
He wrote a good book on fireworks. You should buy him the book.
Someone that moved into town. But anyways, do you want to share, Jeanette, some good news about how we can build a bonfire?
How we can build one.
Something
What am I
good.
sharing?
Sharing the, somebody had agreed to,
Oh, yes, Ken Fernandes from Fernandes Lumber has offered to save pallets for the
Oh,
bonfire.
cool.
Oh, nice. So,
that'll be good news that we'll share with the fire chief.
And I can confirm that as well. 'cause
Very good.
Okay, moving along on our agenda.
Okay.
um,
How's it work?
I know, me too.
We got some folks here tonight that are gonna do some reporting. Committee reports, Diane, Secretary's report, anything you've got?
I thought I sent all the minutes to everybody. I will go back and find out why I didn't send it to you. I don't know why.
She wasn't at the meeting, no.
No, she was at the meeting.
I know you
And
wasn't.
I posted the agenda to the town, and I will post the approved January 23rd minutes to the town tomorrow. That's all she wrote.
Take
Good
these away
report.
from me.
Okay.
On the treasury report,
Thank you.
did you get any checks in?
Yes, that's the only piece of news I have to report is that we received the donation of $7,500 from Sharon
Yep.
Crescent Credit Union. So that brings our balance, according to my accounting, to $59,198 and some change.
That includes that
That includes the
$7,500
$7,500.
sharing credit. Okay.
Ken, business, historical events.
Several different things. One, we just went over the banners, and I added certain banners to that count, which were probably about, after netting out the ones that were already listed for myself and some others, about 6 more banners, which I added to the list. Secondly, following up on Jeanette's comment about the pallets, I met with Ken Fernandez the other day. He is taking a banner, Fernandez Lumber.
Nice.
Also, I talked to him about that concept of shovels in the shops, which he and I discussed it at length. I gave him an example of the shovel size and so forth. He likes the idea. He's gonna cost out the cost. There'd probably have to be at least 140 shovels in order for there to be no shipping, because if you have an order of, say, $20 a shovel, $2,800, you're in good shape. So he's gonna be getting back, he's going to a meeting in about 2 weeks, and we'll finalize that later on. He's also going to, at whatever the cost of the shovels is to the business, he is going to donate back a certain percentage of any markup. So there'll be the cost of the shovel, there'll be, let's assume, shipping, and then a small profit, but he's gonna donate that back. So we don't know what that amount is gonna be at this point in time, but as we get further down the road, we will know that.
I'm
There's also-
sorry, Ken, does that mean he's going to give them to us at his cost?
No.
No.
It means, we're
Part
gonna,
of
his
it.
cost would include, let me say it differently.
Mm.
His cost for the shovel would be X, shipping would be Y, depending upon how many shovels
Right,
we have. And then secondly, any markup,
so there will be a
On-
markup.
yes, but
Okay.
a very slight one, and he's gonna donate it back.
That's fair.
So, so that was one. I also have the corporate entity that told me before that they were thinking of donating $10,000 to, actually now thinking of going to 15, so as soon as they give me a confirmation on that, I'll be able to identify it.
Okay.
Also, with regard to historical events, i.e. a filling event, not a signature event, but a filling event during the year, you're gonna love this. The Walt Disney Corporation just last year, I believe it was, released an updated version of Snow White.
Yes.
Something along the Barbie line.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I had discussions yesterday and actually this morning with the library about having a special showing as an event next year, a joint venture between the Historical Society and the library. So that's something that's in
Terrific.
process. If anyone's a fan of Snow White or the Seven Dwarfs.
I just went to Disney on Ice Friday, so it's,
Well,
so Disney on Ice on Friday, so.
So you can be the consultant.
Yeah,
Your job should choose from seven. So that's another item that's kind of ongoing. One thing I do want to mention is, one of the things that I've gotten in some conversations with people, potentially in terms of either having a shovel in a window or whatever, assuming we do that, by the way. I don't know that, and we need to check this, I don't know that that concept of shovel in the shops has ever been voted on and approved.
I don't know.
So we need to look back in the minutes and see if that's the case, before we go too far down the road. So that's something that's been coming up, excuse me, what's been coming up is people saying to me, gee, I don't know, it's a little too early for me to think about that. Thinking about 2025. So I'm thinking that as we go down the road, while there'll be some people who jump right on and say, this is great, there are other people who are gonna say, you know, come back to me in June, or come back to me in August, or whenever they say. So I think we should be cognizant of that and comfortable with it, because there's no way we're gonna pressure people into participating if they say at this point in time, not ready to look at that, doing something else. So, just a point that's been coming up in a couple of 3 conversations that I've had, and I expect to hear it from a few more.
Can you explain, oh, I'm so
No, I
sorry.
was gonna say,
Go
did
ahead.
Ken mention what kind of a range the shovels would cost, just to put this in
Try
perspective?
$20.
20,
Well, $20 is his cost, plus shipping, it might be 30.
okay, all right,
But
so
that's
it's
what I'm
not, it's
saying,
not a
is
big
that-
investment, is
No,
all
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no. He's got to, as I said, he has to talk with his supplier
Mhm.
before we're gonna have firm numbers.
Mhm.
So if we look in the range of, let's just say $30 for a number.
Yeah,
that's
no, I
probably
was
close.
just trying to get a feel,
I
is it a
understand.
$100 shovel,
Oh, no, no, no,
then I
no,
could
no.
see hesitation, but
No, no, no.
that
No,
price,
I'm
yeah.
talking 2 different things, John. I'm not talking about the shovels as, it's too early. I'm talking about the
right,
shovels on one
displaying
hand,
them, yeah,
but I'm also talking about participation
right,
on the other.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing. But you're right, but the number's only gonna be somewhere in the $30.
okay.
Ken, could you explain the concept of shovels in the shops?
Yeah, the idea was that businesses would buy a shovel,
Yeah.
they would decorate the shovel. The shovel would be displayed prominently along with possibly a smaller version of the banner here. Maybe they put it in a window, or for example, I'll use the Bank of Easton as an example. As you walk into the Bank of Easton on the right-hand side, there's a display area where community events are displayed, so they might have it out there. The other idea was that maybe at the end of 2025,
Mhm.
either sometime prior to or at the gala, these shovels would be auctioned off as a fundraiser. And I'm going to make it very clear that this was not my idea. I'm not sure who came up with the original idea, but the idea of shovels in the shop was not mine. I'm just kind of implementing the idea, should we go forward with it? And that's why I asked if it's been voted on or not.
It hasn't.
I
Because
thought it was
Isn't it?
either,
It's not, okay.
either Michelle or
That was in the show, that was like.
Ed Han.
One.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
is that a wick?
What?
So,
Mike, yeah?
Yeah, I think we should vote on it. I think it's a great idea. So I think we should vote on it just for the sake of having it as something that becomes something we're tasked to do and we see it from start to finish. It sounds like all the groundwork's already done, so why wouldn't we want to add it to the roster of things we're doing across the year?
Why don't you make a motion, Ken?
Hold on, I think you should, that's premature. You should wait until you have the numbers.
That's exactly what I was
There's
gonna
nothing to
say.
vote on right now, it's
That's
just a
what I was gonna
concept.
say.
You need like a proposal of, it's gonna cost this, this is the
That's right.
profit, this is the plan, then you vote on it.
He's right. That's why I said,
Okay.
when we have the numbers, we can discuss it further.
Okay.
But I did want to bring it to the fore that, one, I didn't know if this had been voted on previously, and two, it was not my concept, I just wasn't sure who had.
I think it was, our
I think we can
secretary
look back
is,
in- We can look back in the minutes because I've only been involved in the meeting since April. And it was being discussed, at least
Yeah.
as an ancillary discussion, at various times since then, so.
we'll look up the minutes. We have a book that just has the minutes of all of our meetings, if anyone wishes to see that.
So you
should
definitely
be on-
should check it out.
They're probably on the town website,
Hmm.
I don't know.
right? They should be.
Anything else, Ken?
No, that's all I want.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to fundraising. I know that Courtney's not here this evening, so I don't have any information from her. She has, as our fundraising chair, has been working with the high rollers to do what she can to support the celebration. And Ken and I have been working with the local banks and some others. We get commitments. People just want to decide. As he said, maybe it's a little too early for them, but we can wait.
Or they're deciding what amount.
How much,
They're
yeah.
gonna be able to give or
Yeah.
Excuse me, Dave.
Yes.
As Mike said, Courtney sent a copy of her fundraising letter. She was looking for some comments.
Oh.
One of the things that's in there that I had said to her before, she identifies there's 6 events that still need sponsors, but that we were looking for, to determine who those people were by the end of the month, but we are at the end of the month, so
Well,
it's gonna
I'm not
change.
sure, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either. Did she send it today?
She sent it right before the meeting.
Yeah, right
Oh,
before
okay.
the
Oh, we
meeting.
have time.
Uh,
Okay.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it
that's
yet.
fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll trust you, Reed. But, yeah, I think some sponsors are still trying to decide what they're gonna do. So I think we're a little premature on that. And I think she's right, there are about 6, but there's also one of those events, maybe 2, that the Williams family is deciding on
Okay.
what they want sponsored based on the initial donation that they made to the
okay.
town. And I've had a couple of conversations with Kevin Williams, and, you know, when they make their decision, when he makes the decision, or the
Okay.
family makes the decision, we'll be able to cover at least 1 and maybe 2.
Okay.
Good, and thank you, Courtney, if you're watching, for the communication. Mike Good, Mike has marketing and communication.
Yeah, so you've locked yourself into a billboard for the end of this year and all through next year. There's a signed contract between the town, or between the committee and the Clear Channel, so we have it. Talking to Dave before the meeting, we're gonna circle back and see if we can shave down the time of that contract, and maybe forego the early version, like the last, October, November, December of this year, or end the contract early, meaning we don't have it at the tail end of 2025. But as it is, we are actually in the signed contract. So the good news, if you're on board with the billboard, is that that contract entails pretty much everything from start to finish. So if you send them a couple months or a couple weeks in advance of each phase, just like bullet points of what you want, they will craft the image and come back to you, so you don't have to do any of the design. It's just content, bullet points, they'll work it out. They also will do a backup version of what's going up, so if there's a hurricane or anything like that and it gets torn down, or graffiti or whatever, there will be a backup version of that. So if you're into billboards, it's a good deal in terms of what comes along with it. It is a pretty big item, big ticket item, and it is a year and 3 months of advertising. So as the billboard person, I will go back and ask if there's any wiggle room, which it's a contract, so I don't know if there is. If there's any wiggle room to maybe change the parameters, look to shave some dollars off the overall cost, but I think we should be braced for it is what it is.
How much?
So, $30,000.
Whoa. How many changes are in the contract?
There's 3 phases. So,
That's it?
Okay.
yeah.
Basis.
Wow.
So that was something that was in, like, again, meeting 1, like shovels in the shop. That was something that was just kind of off to the races. I didn't realize we had proceeded with that. I thought it was just something that was kind of spitballing, but we're into it. It's not the end of the world. It's the billboard that's, as you take the turn onto Belmont,
Yeah.
behind Honeydew, it's that one there. They're both at Honeydew, so it's the one as you're going towards Brockton.
Yeah,
not the
on
one
that
going
one
towards
on the
Belmont.
left.
Because
Yeah.
the other one is, it's not on the highway then.
Oh, no.
No, no.
It's right up the
Right at
street.
CVS.
Buzzers, what Honeydew is.
Yeah, oh, I
It's
know
the one
that.
right at the end.
West Bridgewater had one right on 24.
Yeah,
Oh.
now this is right at the end of that.
It's
so,
good visibility.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, that's what's going on with the billboard, so I'll circle that to them and see, again, the guy was very nice, like I said, the contract does cover a lot of aspects and things that I was worried about, but again, I don't know if we need it for a year and a half, or a year and 3 months, or whatever, so we'll see if we can get down.
Whatever you can do, Mike, to compromise, yeah.
Okay.
You know, a contract is a contract, so you may not be able to do
No,
anything?
Gail already looked at it?
Yeah, looked at it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, then
So
you're
we've-
Yeah.
Okay,
We're,
you're good.
it's
Never
a,
mind.
it's a thing.
So Mike, I'm sorry.
Forget I said that.
Did you say it starts in October?
Yeah, I have to, yeah, so I think it was October, November, December is the first paneling. And then, so the concept, again, not to be negative about it, because I go back and forth on it. I don't know if it's overkill or not. It is a big price tag, but just in terms of the service it would provide, it would give us an early messaging out to the town, the 2025 is the Tricentennial. And then what we could do with the first 3 months is just list all of the events. I think that's enough. The last phase was gonna be kind of, I think like a thank you message to the town. I think that's where it kind of becomes like, now we're just putting things up to put things up. We're gonna be thanking people at events, there's other materials all over town, so I was thinking that if we could kind of get the pre-message out, and then a list of the events starting in January when the second phase goes up, and then just, that'd be the end of it. So that was what I was gonna go back to him with and see. That's-
Thank you, Mike. Anything else?
Yep, so the website, there's been some updates. One of the things that we need to think about is, so I know that there's some subcommittee meetings or things that are gonna be happening in early March. We need to kind of bolster the calendar of events and description of events on the site. The other item is the picture of the committee and some other content. So as we kind of get into March, the biggest thing we wanna make sure we have on there is an actual more descriptive message, or as we actually nail down locations, continue to update that. So I've been working with John Tracy, we'll be able to make those changes in real time. We were actually able to extract the names and email addresses and contact information for those folks that had done the logo contest. So there was the concept of certificates going out to those folks. So the people that entered the contest through the website, fill out a form, we'll be able to have that actually done. So the list that we've been seeking, we were able to extract. So we have that information.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I guess that's it for now.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Let's go on to the coordinators' reports. We're going to start with the very first event, which is scheduled for January 4th. And it's going to be at the high school site. And I'm going to ask Anne Marie and Amanda to take it from here, but we did have the opportunity, the three of us, to meet with the assistant superintendent. And we discussed the school, what the possibilities might be. And take it away, Amanda and Anne Marie.
Well, we were prepared tonight to present a budget for the big items that we wanted to do, and brought cookies to kind of soften it up tonight, and I'll be brief. We had met with a former committee member, and we were assured that the high school knew we were coming, knew we were gonna do it there. The events that we had wanted to do were all gone over, and we found that to be kind of false information. So we did meet with Chrissy Pruitt, the assistant superintendent of schools, who had no idea that we were going to use the high school. So we are awaiting an email from her with the rules and regs, because there's a lot, basically a lot of the things we were going to do are not allowed because of liability. So, and we're okay because we can pivot. So we are waiting for an email from her when she has a meeting with, or she has to have a meeting with, to get the rules and regulations. We also have a form that we have to submit to the town, which is in process of doing that, which we did not know, and permission and cost. So we're waiting for that. We haven't received that yet. In the meantime, Amanda and I went to Mark at Stonehill to see if we weren't able to use the high school for some reason, or if there were too much liability or too many things we couldn't do there, that if we could use Stonehill as our B plan, because you can have things like a beer garden there and things that you can't do at the high school. They have the stadium, and so he got back to us yesterday, and said he's just waiting for an answer. We sent him a list of everything we wanted to do, except for the little things we're going to fill in for. We're waiting to hear from that backup plans, so my apologies. So we're back at square one, waiting. Again, we are prepared to pivot. We're used to that, and if we can go to the high school, work within their perimeters. If not, the Stonehill. So we're gonna have to come back to y'all. It's cookies right there.
Something. One other thing that
was a good
was
move.
mentioned already, and this might be what you're gonna say, I don't know. But I know, Mike, you mentioned not doing this 2 events in the same location, and the gala is 100% at Stonehill. But they're very different events,
Oh,
very
yeah.
different demographics. They're completely
Right.
a year apart.
No, that's fine.
You know, this is a free event to the public, you know, whatever. The gala is the paid event. So I just wanted to throw that out there too, that it's very, you know, very separate.
Fireworks and
But
bonfire.
very
No,
similar.
that's a little
Yeah.
different.
So I just
No.
wanted to throw that out there.
No, that wasn't it.
Sorry.
What was it that they did not want you to do specific?
Everything.
Everything?
Every single
Thank
item
you.
that
Every-
we wanted to do.
No, we knew about
Well, not
alcohol.
that.
Yeah.
We couldn't have any inflatables, we couldn't do any kind of, sporting things.
Can't do anything.
We couldn't do anything
Yeah,
on it. She
so-
was just looking at
Yeah.
our list, basically upside down, going, no,
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 no, no.
And she
So-
was
Amanda.
lovely.
She was,
We
it was fine,
understand
so,
that.
yeah.
Who is Mark? Mark what?
Mark Sabina is the.
Mark Sabina? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the director of that.
We met with him.
Meetings.
Yeah,
Is that
facilities
Stonehill?
guy is Bruce Boyer,
Okay.
Yes.
so
I think that's what he was, Mark was
that's
going
what I was
to
about
for
to say.
confirmation on
he's
everything,
going
yeah,
to Bruce Boyer.
right. Well, we just had met with
No, I
Mark the day
understand,
prior,
but he's
so.
gonna have to go to Bruce
Yeah.
Boyer to get him.
Yep, and we're just waiting on that.
And
That
he
Okay.
has
we
sent
get that.
everything to him,
Okay,
our ideas and everything, and he's extremely efficient if you know him. So we had met with him and Steve,
Yeah.
about the gala, so,
So we're just
I
waiting
think
on
the final
figure that.
decision was gonna come out of Bruce Boyer. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
I would
I'm not
say,
sure.
I would say that's.
I've
that.
gotta talk to him about something else, why don't I mention it to him?
Yeah,
thank
give
you,
him a little
Ken,
nudge that.
appreciate it.
Little elbow.
The gentle elbow.
Amazing cookies, by the way.
No. You've obviously never played basketball with me, so you know there was no such thing as a layup.
Anne Marie and Amanda, do you think the Southeastern Regional High School complex would have the same,
I would say
this,
probably
they would probably the same
rules,
rules and
but
regulations?
let's-
and-
Yeah, maybe we'll see what Stonehill says as our backup, and
Yeah,
if that's still an option, maybe we can check in
I don't know.
with the regional too.
You never know. They
Yeah,
have a nice
so-
theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
probably do some nice-
Amanda and Anne Marie, I know that we've changed the date to January 4th. Do you still want to call it first day? Or
I think we should call it the kickoff, like the Tricentennial kickoff,
first event?
like the kickoff, I
Kickoff.
think. If you guys like that, I think
It's up to
And-
you guys, we were thinking, kickoff to,
kickoff to the Tricentennial, something like that. Yeah, I think the word kickoff kind of gets it
Okay.
out there that it's kind of a celebration to start off the year and kick things off, and so that's kind of our hope.
Now, what did you want to say
Yeah,
about the
it's
merchandise?
I'll be quick on that. So I brought a bunch of samples. I emailed it all out. I also sent out the budget, I guess you'd call that, of everything, and those are all based on minimum quantities. I did email Brian today to just 100% confirm that this is the date that I really got from him, but that we need to order by the end of this month to get the current pricing. I know it sounds really quick. We've been
Yeah.
working on this for like a month, trying to get all this stuff together. The one thing that he did mention that's really important to get ordered soon are those pewter shovels that are, they're on the list. They're like an ornament, if you will. I don't know what else to call them. They're an ornament, right? So,
That's-
yeah, that bottom left corner. So,
200 at 1656. Yeah.
exactly, yep. And then again, on the pricing sheet, the budget that I provided, I put our recommended pricing, but obviously we can totally change that. It was just to see kind of what we thought we could get for kind of revenue at the end.
Yeah.
And that's if every single item sells and we don't double order, you know, let's say we sell all our t-shirts, we can order them again at the current pricing, even if it's January of next year. So this pricing gets locked in whenever we order. If it's not right now and we order it in a month, we get the next level of pricing. that's the pricing we get locked into, so.
Did Brian tell you what percentage pricing is going up if we don't order now?
I don't have those numbers, he did.
I think that's
I
important.
think we need more
Yeah, I think
time.
it's-
Yeah,
it's
I think-
realistic.
I think we need more time, and that's important to
Yeah.
know how much it's gonna go up.
I agree, yeah. So, if there are items on that list that you guys hate, that you wanted to see that you didn't see, if you could just send me an email, or, I don't know how we wanna do that, I guess, for items that we wanna eliminate. We're fine with whatever. What we did is essentially, we went to other, towns, and we went to other events, and we said, these are the merch items that are selling. We kind of asked around to family and friends and people in the community and said, what would you buy? And this is kind of a list. It was a lot larger. We whittled
Yeah.
it down, and I know there's still a lot of items here, so, we really do wanna use Red Ball. That was the recommended company. They're local. If you feel we need a second option for pricing, we can certainly go forth and get that if we need a comparison. But there's one item, or it's two items rather, on that list that Red Ball could not get for us, which are the tumbler cup, that 40 ounce on the bottom right of that Jeanette's page there. And and then on the next page of your sheet here, that shovel pen, those are the two items that would not be coming from Red Ball. But otherwise, everything else would be, if the pen is cool, yeah.
We love the pen.
The tumbler is a retail of $40.
Yeah,
Did we look at the Stanleys, just because they're, you know,
they're
so much,
$60 to order them.
I don't know,
So,
but
the
no
Simple
name for
Moderns-
40.
Well, they're simple moderns. They're, yeah.
You know what I'm
Simple
saying, the
Moderns
manufacturer.
Simple Modern is a really.
is the next
People are
next to
using them.
Stanley.
Yeah.
At Target, I believe they're $42.99. I want to somewhere in that range, $39.99. They're in that range, so that's where I picked that 40. Again, can go up, or we could not make anything go down on it. It's totally. Well, I don't know about eBay. They wouldn't be etched with the cool,
Yeah.
logo that way.
I just
Red.
had a couple comments
Yeah.
on the merchandise.
Sure.
Sherpa blanket, I couldn't find a price for that on the list. And you know what, I'm gonna take your word for it, but
Send it to you, yeah.
I,
I think it was $15,
Okay.
and then I think I put it to like 20 for the,
Okay.
like the cost was 12 something, and
Okay.
I spent a lot of time on
I bet you
spreadsheets, but I remember.
did.
Triple blanket is about the 10th one down on the list.
okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I know there's a lot on there.
I think
There's
they're,
26
yeah,
items.
yeah.
It's
12.40. It's
12.40, that was
And I think
probably,
I did
that was a good
$20
price.
for
I think
20.
the pricing, I was surprised, the quality is really nice on the
Yeah.
shirts and all of that stuff. I think with the exception of the last three,
Sure.
you have them priced too low.
Okay,
You know, people expect to pay more than $12, even though that's a kid's for a t-shirt, or 16 for a long sleeve. I mean, that's like $28 without even blinking.
right, okay.
So I think
yeah,
that pricing,
yeah.
I just question, and I could be totally wrong, 1,500 lip balms, 2 different styles. Lip balms are
Yeah, it's
that
too much.
popular.
No.
And the wristbands, everything is free and there's no admission. I don't get the
It's a
wristbands.
style thing.
I have one.
They're not, yeah, but they're not Taylor
Yeah.
Swift friendship bracelets. I don't know.
The
I mean,
only-
500 of those.
He's not,
Yeah, I
he's not
agree.
wearing that. That doesn't say Taylor.
No, no.
No, it's not.
We're all wearing them, yeah. My thought on the wristband is
Yeah.
that people will buy something for $2 just to make a donation.
Right.
I think there were too many things on the list.
Yeah, me too.
We plan to give away a souvenir glassware, I think, something at the gala.
Yeah,
I think we
around
talked
here.
about
It
that.
won't be a glass, but it'll be something, yeah.
It won't be a glass?
No.
I thought we were gonna do a,
This was one of our thoughts, was a charcuterie board, yeah.
for the giveaway? For
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, we have not finalized.
Oh, because okay.
That'll be a whole. other
Yeah.
discussion.
But so I think that there's just too many items. I really do, too many. I think the Historical Society will be left with everything else. And if you look back, but if you go to the Historical Society and you will find items from 50 years
Yeah.
ago.
Really?
They're still there. Stop. Yeah. And I think my thought is,
We could definitely sell those.
people are only going to buy so much.
Yeah.
They might buy one, and so we want to sell our cookbooks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if there's a cookbook, okay, hopefully we sell 200. But I don't think people are going to buy like a mug and a glass and a blanket and I think there's too many items.
Way too many
Yeah.
glasses.
That's just my thought.
My job was just to present you.
Yes, options, we have time to
As voting
digest.
members,
Yep.
it's up to you.
Right,
to put
right.
together and say,
And
"Oh, I
can you
think
just
this would sell."
tell me about the mug? Is that metallic paint?
Yes,
It's not metallic paint, it's, yes.
Can it go in a microwave?
no, it's metal.
Yeah, see, I mean, that to me
We
is,
can swap it out for a
Yeah.
ceramic.
and
as well.
that would
Oh.
look so much better if it was that color and not a white mug
Okay.
with the metal
Yeah.
on it.
I can look at some more options.
Everybody has
Color.
mugs.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
think
don't
there's
know
too
who's
many.
gonna buy
I
mugs.
don't have any more room in my cabinet.
I think we're also looking at them for camping and not necessarily in your house, but to use
Not-
them
well,
as
like
other
a
places.
campsite.
You think
Yeah.
everyone's going
Because-
camping?
I know.
Well, no, but for, how many mugs do you have? I mean, I have mugs from
Too
a lot of
many.
Easton events.
I get
in
rid
my
of all of
closet.
Got my library
And so
mug.
that's what we were thinking with
Right.
the glassware for the gala is, nobody wants another wine glass, nobody
No.
wants another.
So
Now,
why would they
No-
buy it?
no one's gonna
If
buy
nobody
it.
wants one, why
That's
would
the
they?
question. Would they rather buy it than get it for free? I don't know. So what we did, so the glassware,
Free.
one thing I will say is we did talk to somebody over at Shoveltown to see if they want to partner with.
Well, that's
us
a
for
good
like
idea.
pint glass
That's a
for
great
1 year.
idea.
They have a, yeah,
And
they
then
have
I-
a nice beer pub glass.
Right,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
we're thinking like our logo on one side, their logo on the other side. and
That's
we
a good
kind of
idea.
That's a great
collab,
idea.
You know, with
Yeah.
that. He
But
also
one.
recommended maybe doing like some kind of little basket with those, doing like, because we can't sell alcohol most cases, not most, some events. We won't be able to sell alcohol at.
Yeah.
Others, they probably could put cans of, 4 packs of the Tricentennial beer that they're planning to do
They are?
in cans, yes.
Oh,
That
nice.
was the-
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the same thing they did for Stonehill.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
right,
very good.
exactly.
Okay.
People were loving that. I heard a lot
It was,
about that.
it was as somebody over there told me, it was a huge seller.
Huge success, yeah. I
Well,
heard
let me,
Somebody told me
multiple
that.
people.
Do we
Let me
get a
jump
piece of
in,
the action?
Amanda and Anne Marie, I know that there's a lot to talk about. We got a pretty good sized agenda tonight,
Yeah.
but I think by you passing this
Yeah.
material out tonight, we have a chance to look at it.
Yeah, so before you leave, please take a look at the merch that's over there, so you can touch it, feel it. I did get a couple of spoons and a couple of aprons if you guys wanted to do
Yeah.
any, they're
That I think
smaller
is great.
quantities.
I don't want
With
to
the
So
do
we can
cookbook.
order smaller quantities of them and do kind of, if you wanted to do some kind of like,
Yeah.
a cookbook, like a package kind of deal, would be kind of cute. People would like that. Good gift, good holiday gift.
They come in
So,
multiple colors.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know
So
what
you're
you
gonna
guys
be
are
on the agenda again, and then we
So we
can,
can table, we don't have to
I'll
order
get
it the
pricing-
27th
I'll
or
get the pricing for
whatever.
the next
Yes,
timeframe.
yes.
But the
Wonderful.
And then
shovels
it's cut off,
have
but
to
those
be,
shovels,
the
yeah.
shovels have to be before March 31st.
Yes, the pewter shovels, they don't, there's two pricing,
Well,
and they
it's
are
cheaper
both on that
before
list,
March
I do,
31st.
they're bolded at the bottom of the list, of the pricing sheet, that it's about $1.25 difference if we order them by March 31st or after March 31st, so, he really wanted me to make sure I mentioned that, and sorry, one last thing, there is a mock-up of a coin, that was highly recommended, if we wanted to do a coin, there's a silver version and a gold version, so if you mock those up for us, I don't have them on there.
Yeah, we just,
But
That's what they look
are
like.
in-
And what I mentioned earlier, could you get a sample of?
I will, let, Ken, you had a comment about the coins,
I
and
did.
then
I
we'll
did.
move on.
Somebody made the comment
I'll
about
get back,
there
I'll
being-
finish my comment in a minute.
Email me, yeah.
Somebody made the comment about there being a whole lot of stuff at the Historical Society. Well, a whole lot of that stuff has been thrown out. However, one of the things that there's an inordinate amount of coins.
yeah.
Nobody wants
Yeah, nobody wants a coin.
it. No.
So
What
I
do you do with
personally
it?
would say,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah.
just simply saying
Yeah.
that in my view, looking at this, knowing the number of coins that are floating around,
Mhm.
I think a coin is not a cost-effective thing to do.
Yeah.
Nor is it, you know, if somebody gets into the environment, nor is it.
Yeah.
But
I
that
think we
little
did-
shovel was awesome though.
The shovel is
Well, the
great.
shovel-
I would go shovel over coin. if
Well,
you
that's
actually pick one.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing, though, you have to think about with the shovels, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, you should,
Mhm.
is that a lot of shovels have come through the historical society already over the years and gone out.
Yeah,
into
there's a
the
ton of
marketplace.
them.
Yeah.
That is what that or that picture is.
Yeah,
from
that's
right.
Historical
I know.
Society,
Okay.
so,
I know.
yeah.
I did want to say, Amanda, as well as Anne Marie,
We can have a
that,
meeting.
I'll give you one chance. Go ahead.
Go, John.
I was trying to get my comment
And while she's
about
doing
the
that,
tote
another
bag.
important
Yes.
question.
Oh.
Are those
Yes.
cookies just for that end of the table?
It depends on the answer, no,
Yeah.
But yes, Joan, I will see what I'll get a couple of options.
Yeah, kind of like an
And-
LL Bean quality
Yep.
bag.
You can get like a zipper one and an open one or
Yeah.
something, and,
That way they
and
get
bring that, yeah, 100%, yep,
They're good.
I'm on it for you.
You like another one?
No, thank you.
No, I don't have one.
Yeah, so if you guys could just go through, let us know your
Can we-
feedback, we'll take it all, compile it, go from there, and I'll get the next set of pricing, and
Okay.
I'll update that sheet, and send it again.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
all your hard work.
You know, on behalf of the committee, we realize how much work
We
you guys
do.
are doing, you
We
and Anne
do.
Marie.
Unbelievable.
Not only coordinating a couple of events, but to take on this task of merchandising, that's a big job. So we appreciate it, and I think the committee has a chance to think about it,
Yep,
and we'll
For sure.
bounce back again.
sounds good.
The next item on the agenda, I know that we don't have our parade coordinator here, and we're gonna get to that, but I did wanna, because we're holding them up too. Paul Clifford and Dale Thistle,
Oh, sorry.
they are representing the Friends of Borderland State Park. And of course, they get all kinds of things happening. But I think it's terrific that they found the time to join us. And I know that the bosses up there have agreed that we wouldn't have to pay a parking fee to get into the park on the days that we have our celebration. But I don't know, you gonna go first, Paul, or Dale is gonna talk about the car show?
All of it.
I didn't really realize we were going here tonight. But so the first week in October, we brought back the car show that had been historically done every year at Borderland. So 2 years ago, we had our first annual recent car show. We had 50 vehicles show up. It was a great time. Everyone parked right in front of the mansion. Great photo ops. We ended up doing a car calendar, so the top 15 cars by public vote made it into the calendar.
That's cool.
The winners that got into the calendar got a free calendar. I had to order probably right around 60, 65 more. The people that won them mostly wanted them for Christmas presents to give out because it was right before Christmas. So that was a little boost. At first, I didn't think we were making any profit off those, but we ended up making a little bit of profit on the calendars, which was good. So moving forward this year, it's the first or second Saturday in October. I can't really remember right now.
Which year are you talking about?
2024.
Okay.
So 2024, we're doing it again. Hopefully, we'll have more than 50 cars. Just through that first show, meeting people from Easton with cars in their garages. There are a lot of beautiful, classic, antique, brand new, you name it, cars in Easton. And I'm trying to get all those to the park for 2024. We've also, I've talked about having the anniversary committee setting up a table at the car show for either recruitment, just advertising. So you can have as much room as you want. So hopefully we'll get a good draw that day, and it'll be great advertising for the 300th.
Great.
Yes, sir.
What's it cost you to enter the car show?
So it's $20.
So $20 so that you the car coming in, the car only pays $20.
Yes.
You have 50, that's about $1,000. And so what's the cost of the expenses of running the car show?
So running the car show, it doesn't take much. We did have a DJ the first year. We're gonna try to do that, try to avoid that cost, and just run, 60 car songs
I got it.
over the, so it doesn't really cost that much money. This year is already paid for due to donations I got for the car show that got rained out. So trophies are paid for this year. Typically, I'll say $350 for trophies. I got dash plaques made up without a date on them, so we could reuse those. First 50 cars that enter get a dash plaque. So it's probably, I don't know, $1,000, maybe
That's what I was gonna say, it's
$1,500.
about $1,000.
So you break even.
And that's what we bring in.
So if you've got, what I'm thinking about is two things. I'm thinking about one, at a later date, any profit that could go over to the town for the Tricentennial. The other thing I'm thinking about is advertising at this year's car show. And 2025's car show is gonna be late in the year anyway, in terms of the anniversary year. So that may be just another event in the sense that I was talking about earlier with the showing of the Snow White movie. That could be another event on the calendar in between the signature events.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's where I was going with most of this. I've been in a number of car shows, so I mean,
Yeah, the 2025 can be a completely combined event.
Nice.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
It could be not a signature event, but an event put on by Borderland during the 300th anniversary year.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Paul, anything you'd like to say? And by the way, congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you. Nothing.
So just, do you have a flyer or anything you want to have us push through our website, through our communication channels, we can advertise for this year's event?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So, get contact information, and then, I guess that was it. Oh, you mentioned a rain date, so are you guys going with a rain date again? Based on what you said last year got rained out?
Yeah, every car show got rained out last year.
Yeah.
So even rain dates not only got rained out, but
Oh, wow.
it became like 15 shows or clubs were all trying to get the same Sunday because it wasn't supposed to rain. So that became very difficult.
I had a baby in March, so that was all. It rained in October and November and December, so I forgot about that.
Yeah, we just have to check the park calendar, and potentially it's the next day, the Sunday, in case.
So I do want to
Any
jump in really
thought to
quickly.
increasing the entrance fee from,
Did you get those?
The car show is going to be October
The
12th of this year.
Oh.
because it seems so
From 9
bad?
o'clock in the morning till 3 p.m. But we're also having a family fun day that same day.
October
And last
12th?
time we had a family fun day at Waterland, we had over
Maybe
5,000 people show up.
Yeah.
So family fun day / car show, October 12th.
October 12th.
Last time we did it, over 5,000 people showed up.
Wow.
That's a very good point. Because you're gonna have a table there, it's gonna get a lot of people.
Yeah.
How lucky we are to have that park
Oh, it's beautiful.
in our community. Anything else? Any other questions? It's terrific that not only do we have signature events, but we have facilities in town that are willing to host, not only at Borderland State Park, but at Langwater. And we have two people, Karen and Tom, who have been meeting with Langwater and their staff in terms of what the plans are for a family fun day. Do you, Tom and Karen, want to say anything about that?
We're good.
Kate S. has gotten back to us on April 19th.
Oh, good.
From 10 to 2 will be the event. They will provide hay rides, potato sack races, the jumpy things that the school won't have,
You're gonna pizza, provide food
Oh, yeah.
for, you
Well,
know,
that will be for
For
purchase,
purchase.
and
For
then,
purchase.
they'll plant a seed, they'll have little, they can plant a seed, and then they can also, for a fee, they can go pick whatever daffodil, hyacinth, tulip, whatever is
Oh,
gonna be in
very
season, cause
nice.
it's hard to know what's gonna be in
she
season,
told us,
April
yeah.
2025, there, but, and then, we're going to look at different, potential music, that they have some, but, she told us to look at some as well, so I don't know if they're gonna pay for that, or will be paying for that yet, so I have,
We'll talk to them.
yeah, I have one in mind, but, Jamie from the block party, coordinator had a list of names too that, she had that might, be available then, too.
I
It
have,
looks
I
like
have a
a-
list
You
of,
probably have
I have a
some, too.
list of bands too for concerts.
Okay, great. It was a matter of cost, I didn't want it to be
Right.
exorbitant, and I don't know that we need 4 hours of music, maybe like 2 hours is
Yeah.
plenty, for that, cause they'll be running around doing things. Well, we'll need volunteers to help, they, said they would provide all this, but they would need the committee's, volunteer support, to help out with that.
Well, thank you very much, Karen
Yes.
and Tom, for keeping a watchful eye on that. And we also thank Paul and Dale for representing Borderland State Park, the Friends of. Now we're going to go to you, Dan. You're sitting on the other end of the table and waiting patiently. Dan and his wife are coordinating the block party. That's going to be the finishing point after the parade ends, a chance to bring people together in the community, just like our theme.
That's right.
So I wanted to ask you, Dan, I know we've been talking in the past about where the block party should be. Should it be on the main street? Should it be at Memorial Hall? And I guess my suggestion is, can we use both? To make it work, maybe the band concert could be at Memorial Hall. What's your thoughts on that?
So, first of all, we're waiting to find out. Unfortunately, Ken helped reach out to find out if we could use NRG, like the front campus there for our concert. And what's his name? I forget his guy's name. Doug King. Right? He's on vacation. So unfortunately, we have to wait another week or so before he's back to see, because the decision on where to do it was going to be predicated on where we're allowed to do it, more than anything. After speaking with musical people and other things, Jamie and I are in support of using Main Street for it. It's flat, it's wide, we can fit everything we want between William Street and the Rockery. We can have the Farmer's Daughter or the pizza place come out and serve food right from there,
La Cucina.
La Cucina, right? We're gonna reach out to them for that.
Even food trucks.
It's really easy for use right there. We also have the Children's Museum, because we have a lot of children's activities planned that we'd like to do down that street as well. And we were thinking of doing the food trucks down that side, and that little parking lot by the therapist's office right next to the Children's Museum would be a great place to put our porta potties and things for people to get to, nice central location. Oddly enough, someone on our committee actually has connections with a porta potty company, so we already have that taken care of. It's amazing.
Wow.
I thought that would,
And somebody's gotta have connections with the person who owns the park.
true. No, we
Yeah.
gotta get there
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
that's a
looking
little
for
more
permissions
important.
right now to decide where we're gonna be. So I don't have a good answer to that question for you, David. I'm sorry. I will get it probably by the end of March. We should probably know. We have a list of more things than we could possibly do at the block party, and Jamie has typed it all up and emailed it out to our committee, and everyone's picking which ones they want to research so that we can find out A, who's available for July 4th next year, and then B, what the cost is, so that we can decide where to best spend our money, and then we can present the budget to you hopefully by the middle of this year as to what we've got. But we're still kind of in a waiting pattern where we're researching all of those expenses, because just a lot of people to reach out to.
Nice.
Certainly,
Some good
food,
answers.
music,
Right.
people
Food,
coming
music, and
together,
fun.
things for the
Yeah.
kids.
Yep.
I mean, that's all going to be part of it. It seems to me when I think about a huge parade and I think about people watching, even though it's the 4th of July, there are other things going on with family. I just don't see I see it ending at the Main Street, but I think you're going to need the rockery area.
Yeah.
You're gonna probably want to expand, give some thought to that.
It probably is gonna come down to how many different activities you all approve. Like, once we come up with the budget and what things are and who's available, we present it to you, and you guys pick what we're gonna do. We'll have to figure out a floor plan of what it's gonna take. Like, if there's the rock wall, it's gonna take, 20 feet by 20 feet. It's gonna be a puzzle, and we'll have to figure out how much space we're gonna need based on the activities. We can't spread it so thin that it looks cheap,
Yeah,
but we can't have it so packed in that everyone's like this on the 4th of July when it could be 90 degrees and hot. So we're
I didn't let them miss 10.
It sounds like
about that there.
you and your wife have everything under control.
We've thought a lot, it's just gonna take a little time to figure it all out, yeah.
nice.
It'll be a terrific day, and hopefully you can make that coordinators meeting,
Yeah, we'll be there. It's on the
Southeast
calendar.
Regional.
Yeah.
Let's bounce back to the art festival. I know it's pretty early right now for Diane and Joan to list what you're gonna do, but
Diane and
anything
Joan.
you wanna say?
Yeah, well, Diane and Joan have not had a lot of time to meet with Roz is on the committee and Karen, because Roz and I are working at Town Hall a lot for the election, primary coming up. So we will have something, but not yet. Maybe next meeting, we should have something more definitive. We're hoping to have it, we don't know if we're gonna do a Saturday or a weekend. Probably April 26th.
Yeah.
The weekend after Langwater. That's pretty much a definite. We'll have a lot of events at Oaks, at the hall.
Yep.
And other things, but we haven't really met to define them as yet. So
Yeah,
we have a
we-
little,
We might have an art walk, as you brought up. and
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, we may
involve
start it
the
at the
church and the
Historical
library.
Society.
Yeah.
You wanna see my etchings?
No.
Again,
No. So if we start at the Historical Society and work our way up,
Yeah.
maybe include the Unity Church
Yeah.
and the library and
Yep.
Oaks Aim, have a map of the town and different
Yeah.
functions. So it could be fun, so we have to work on it.
Well, thank you both for stepping up, and thank you also, Joan, for handling the concerts for the bonfire
Yeah.
and the fireworks.
Yep.
And I know Amanda and Anne Marie are gonna handle the concert, the band for the gala.
Yeah.
One final thing before we adjourn, Chris, thank you. I know you've been on vacation and everything else, but it's a big responsibility to do the anniversary book. Anything?
Lisa
like
and
to
I,
share?
Lisa Braxton and I
Oh, good.
have met a few times to kind of chat about, to really jumpstart the book, is to come up with some articles about the history of the town. We have the old Easton books, and then Dave had also shared the Sharon books, so we're just kind of going through the two different towns to kind of get a grasp on it. Design work has already been started to be laid out, but I know the next big thing, and Dave and I are gonna chat about this, is trying to set up an appointment with the Easton Fire Department and Police Department to
Oh.
get their pictures done, to start kind of, because obviously time's gonna fly, and to get all those photos in, I'd like to start it sooner than later with the departments, and especially like the select board and things, the different groups
Yeah.
in town. So that's gonna be a lot of organization and a lot of time to photograph, so preferably to start those sooner than later. But other than that, that's I know I'd like to set up a subcommittee meeting just for the book, so.
I'd like to be able to come up with a time when we got the full committee, so we can do a photo.
Yeah.
We've been working on that, but everybody has commitments, everybody's busy, but that's why we have them on the committee. Busy people get things done. We're about ready to adjourn.
I just
You wanna-
have,
Go ahead.
can I
Go
go?
ahead.
I have one thing, you have the cookbook on here. Roz and I working on the cookbook. We went to the Eastern Historical Society event the other day, which was really nice.
Still
John,
like my apron?
he wore an apron all day, you should have seen it. Unbelievable. John Coe set up all kinds of cookbooks and utensils and whatnot. There were quite a few people there. And we got several recipes. So anyway, we talked about including restaurants in town. And I'm assuming your cook-off may be put off. You were gonna have your soup cook-off, which
Yeah, we do still plan to do that, and we did get the okay on that.
you do?
But we just
Okay,
need to figure out the location now.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
just confirm.
okay, that was important.
okay. Because Karen was going to approach the restaurants. But I composed a letter to the restaurants, and I'm thinking, would it be okay to just mail a letter with the form and see what we get back, rather than wait for the in-person thing?
I don't think you're gonna get a lot.
I don't think we
I
will
don't think you're
either.
gonna- No, just mailing it.
Going,
Getting
but I
somebody
mean,
to
there's
open it.
probably 60
Person to
restaurants
person.
in town, person to person.
I think some of the major ones you need to go.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
People aren't gonna, you're not gonna
Okay,
get a
Well, the other thing
response.
too,
Yeah.
Karen, if you get the if you start working with them for the cooking
Yeah.
recipe,
Yeah.
you can always go back to them and say, oh,
That's
and-
true.
And
That's
FYI,
true.
here,
Well, I was gonna
And
say
here's
that
the
as part of my
email.
spiel.
Yeah.
And there's no cost for any restaurant that wants to
Correct.
put it in. We've made it quite clear that there will be no fee, no cost. We just want representation. So that's good. And Dave, did you get the forms at Southeastern Region?